Fallon Taylor.
Little lady with a great challenge in front of her. This is Flo.
Babyflo. She wins the world championship. And the winner's circle for that cowgirl.
Fallon Taylor will win.
She's riding an amazing horse out of Babyflo.
It's one of the babies for Babyflo. You need a new leader? Good job, Miss Fallon. Good job.
Okay, we are headed over to McCutcheon's Reining Horses, which is the most beautiful facility, and I don't know if we can film in there because our vet, we're just meeting our vet there. We need a little bit more equipment to flush an embryo than a regular like ultrasound or preg check a mare. So we have Puma Cat in the trailer. She is in foal with Feel the Flow, which means this is our second Feel the Flow baby that we have on the way. Next year's going to be really, really exciting because I'm beside myself that we have Feel the Flow babies. His barn name is Mac. We have Thomas and Mac, so we have Babyflo, Epic Leader, and Babyflo Feel the Sting, and we're currently breeding Feel the Flow because he has a really good start around the barrels, so we want to stop everything, give him a break, and let him collect. There's not an exact science to this, but you want to get these horses where they know they're a stallion, but they also know what their job is, so that we have something that's a lot easier to handle. Stallions are not easy to handle at all whatsoever, even the very best one. So we want to make sure that we do the best job to know, like, okay, this is running barrels and this is breeding, and there's two different things. So because Thomas hasn't been started around the barrels yet and know his job, I haven't started collecting him yet. We will do that, but we just haven't started it yet. So Mac is on the roster. We have one mare that we're going to sell that is in foal to him, and then we have Puma, who's going to be a flush. So we're going to flush her over here. We're meeting Dr. Pat, and this facility also has a swimming apparatus. It's like a swimming lane for horses, and they have a cold spa like we have at our vet clinic. So we're going to take Lolo to a cold spa treatment while the embryo is getting flushed on Puma, so we can knock out both of those things this morning, because I am just dying for Lolo to make a comeback. I want her to come back so bad. Soft tissue injuries that she had 7 months ago are really, really hard to heal. It's very, very hard. I was gonna say combat, but you can't. Like, preventative maintenance is great, but soft tissue injuries happen, and when they happen, it's really hard to tackle them because the inflammation just keeps coming back. And our vet has done a fantastic job, but now it's just a matter of time. So I'm hoping that we're there. I think we're there. So anyway, we will get her worked on, and I'm hoping for a positive embryo flush. This is similar to IVF in people, where you just need it to work, you know, because otherwise it takes a whole other round to make it happen. So we're hoping for a great day. I'm like afraid for her to poop on the gravel, so I might load her again before they're...
No, we're not going to do it.
Okay. Out. Hey, hey. Okay. Right here? Okay. Okay. Hey. Thank you.
We'll just, I guess, wait here for that.
Yes. I just texted, I should have included you, I just texted Megan. Little sedation, just to make sure that the mare and the people are good to go. Hey, did you say hi to Dr. Pat? Okay. The deal is that Dr. Pat has a superstition about music while we flush embryos, and every time we don't have music, we don't get the embryo. So we're playing for Ferrari's flush. It was Hank Williams Jr., and we can't film when there's music, or I'll just voice over because, you know, YouTube thing. But we got to crank the jams for Dr. Pat, or else it just doesn't go right. So here we go. I mean, you know, but you know, if we also, on the times that we don't, because that's how the year goes, I make sure and post about it so that people have realistic expectations when they breed.
Exactly.
Because they want to blame the stallion, they want to blame their vet, they want to blame whatever. But as someone that had a really hard time getting pregnant,
Yeah.
It's just how this goes.
That's how it goes.
Yeah. You get one sometimes and sometimes you don't. So what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna stand here and just pray. What Dr. Pat is gonna do is he's going to literally it's called a flush because they're literally going in and flushing out the uterus.
Yep.
Flush, I don't wanna say anything wrong because I'll get roasted.
Yep.
They're gonna go in and flush out the uterus. And then in a little bitty container, we're watching for, I tell Brand, we're looking for the bubble that's in her belly. It looks like a contact lens, but everything looks like a contact lens. That's the caveat, is that when it comes out, all the bubbles look the same, but one will kind of float and then it'll look more spherical than all the other ones. And then he'll inspect it, pending we get one. He'll inspect it under the microscope, and then we will send a courier with it to our recip Mare people, who we will text today and be like, hey, we had a successful flush. And then boom, there we go.
Okay, perfect. Okay, that'd be great. That'd be perfect. All right, thanks, man.
No, I didn't see it. I didn't see it. Dadgummit. I think I've looked for embryos so long that I messed up my eyesight. Because, but when you see a sus bubble, it really gets your heart pitter pattering. Oh, that's cute. Let's look. Okay, so he puts the first bag and then puts it under the doohickey. And it ain't there.
It's not there. That's right. It's not there. We're going again.
So now, and how many bags can we do?
Usually I'll do 4 flushes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we got one out of the filter.
Right.
And everybody wanted me to name it filtered flow. Or flow filter or something like that. So now we're on bag number 2, which is still really normal to not get the flush by now. I don't know that we've ever gotten one on the first bag. Me personally.
I'm trying to remember if we got I think we got them.
Really?
Yeah,
that one was so big.
Yeah, it was.
So this is very different from IVF, even though we compare it from time to time in people, but it's something that at least a lot of people have struggled with, the same thing I have with getting pregnant, so they can relate to that information. But IVF typically can result in like twins and multiples and things like that for people. This is very different where, yes, we can get 2. They can have 2 ovulations, and we can get both embryos, and then we literally put those in separate mares. But we know when we're inseminating the mare how many pregnancies it's going to result in. So another question I get a lot is, how many times will we flush this mare this year? We've had 1 unsuccessful, and then hopefully this one is successful. Plus we'll have to transfer this, courier it to the recip farm, and then in 2 weeks we'll check for a heartbeat, hoping that all of that goes successful. You know, it's a lengthy process, but it also is so much cheaper than buying a baby out of a mare that's won $50,000 and out of a baby and buy a Babyflo stud. They just don't make that right now. So I have the exclusive. So if this costs me $4,000 or $5,000, it's a lot cheaper. So it's really cool. The breeding game is really cool because we're able to do that. Now, you know, we're gonna have to wait on the baby. It's gonna be 3 years before you guys see us doing anything really cool with this baby. But I'm so excited that this is like available to us, because during the Dr. Nick Bar days, my stallion that is Babyflo's dad, we didn't have all of these options available. They were really archaic, they're really brand new and really not figured out, super expensive. It was like the first cell phone, you know. It just was really clunky and a weird process. It would cost you $20,000 to have a baby, you know, a certain way, another way. A lot of people ask if we do ICSI. I just don't do that. I think I've talked about that a little bit, but ICSI just hasn't been successful for us. This way has been really successful for us. Yeah, we're gonna play. Can you scoop up that rock for me? Can you scoop it? Yeah. How many embryos we get off our horses will differ, but my main focus is getting multiple embryos flushed off of the original sisters, Babyflo, Knick-Knack, Neffy. Neffy typically only gives us 1 a year, and we have to fight for it. Knick-Knack typically gives us 2 or more a year, and Babyflo typically gives us 4 or more. Our vet has advised us that a certain number that he feels like a horse kind of quits giving us when we go over like 5+. So we stop at 4 a year on Babyflo, and that means like some are successful, some are not. I think this coming year we have 2 Babyflos due, maybe 3. I know we have a JL Dash to Heaven. Well, I think we have 3, a Field to Sting and a Trace Ace. So, you know, it's a long process. It's super, super fun. And when they get here, it's just such a cool process because we do film it all. You guys will get to see them go from bubble to the arena. And I just think that's the coolest part because I'm riding horses right now and winning on horses that I inseminated myself to get here. And so it's just a really, really cool thing, especially when you're being so careful and so selective to better the pedigree instead of being really sloppy about it. We're being really, really selective about the genetics and how we want them to look and perform. That way we don't overproduce and have babies that aren't super desirable or don't have a job when they're born. So these things will have very loving high-end homes, all of them, that I have to sell in order to pay for all of this stuff. So let's go see if we got the bubble. We're on the 3rd bag, no embryo yet. This may just be a horse that I shouldn't be running at the same time, but I believe she gave Trisha an embryo while she was running her, so this may just be my own superstition, but we'll see. We're on the 3rd bag, and we typically go 4 bags of the flush before we call it quits. And then we gotta check the filter. Sorry, I'm very close to your crotch. Sorry about that. We got one, I think. I really do.
This is freaking weird.
I appreciate you and all that you do.
Okay.
It's the tiniest thing ever. Woo, sorry. I was all up in his crotch, and I just didn't mean to be. And he is being very patient. Is it just dirt?
You know I can't see him. I gotta look at the microscope. My eyes are too old. He's usually pretty good.
Dadgummit. Dr. Pat, come on now.
I know.
Find it.
I'm looking hard.
See that little stuff like right where he is? I thought that was it, but it's not.
There's some little dark things. Is that what you're saying?
I guess so.
Yeah. I think if we don't get one this time, we need to culture next time.
Okay.
This will be too negative.
Yeah. We're on bag number 4. So it's not looking really great for an embryo flush. So what we'll do after this, even though that's a bummer, we will culture her and make sure there's not some underlying bacterial thing or infection of any kind, which there's probably not. She has had 2 really good cycles, but I am running her at the same time. It doesn't, I know a lot of people are gonna be like, oh, you're running her and that's why. All of the babies that you see on the ground were out of mares that were being run at the same time. So you can be superstitious about it, but it's really not the case. It's just not really how it goes. So, you know, we either get it or we don't, and we're gonna try again. As a stallion owner, it makes it a little bit easier, but even if you just bought a breeding to a stallion, they'll let you keep trying until you get that baby. But they'll also probably make you culture your mare to make sure that they don't keep sending a shipment to a mare that's not completely healthy to breed. So this is just normal protocol as a mare owner to keep trying this process. So let's go check and see if we got the bubble this time. I know, because you normally go, we got it.
I know.
And you didn't say, we got it.
I know.
But sometimes you've surprised me.
It surprised me
didn't see
sometimes too.
At this point, lie to me, you know? just lie. Make one of those dirty flakes, just be like, oh, didn't work in the research.
That's right, that's right.
Dang it.
Oh man.
So if she's got an infection or something,
Yep.
is that because I ran her, or is it?
No.
It just has nothing to do with
No,
anything.
it doesn't.
I was trying to tell the people that it doesn't affect much of anything.
No. It just means we need to clean her up.
Okay.
Because two negative flushes, because she's had 2 good cycles.
Right.
And not giving us an embryo, so we need to culture and make sure she's
Okay.
clean.
Okay. Got it.
But
Okay.
she had good cycles.
Well, hey, we try again.
Perfect. We got one, tomorrow, right?
We got 3 more this week. We've got, and big one. We got a Babyflo flush this week, which is a big one. But we got, tomorrow is Hush Money.
Okay.
Go to Hendrix.
Yep.
Okay. And then Thursday we have Babyflo and Knick-Knack.
Yep.
So we'll be out of town.
Okay.
So y'all have to blare the music while we're not there.
Perfect.
Just blare the music. I just asked how many horses are here, and they said this place has rumored to be 350 to 400 head of horses. So of course they have like cold spa and things like that are really beneficial to their own personal horses. But I'm just super stoked that they let us utilize that for our own personal horses when we come here. So we'll check on Lolo in a second because she's in the salt tub. This is a cool place to have to come to this morning because they have a cold spa right here and they have an aqua tread right here. We are using a cold spa this morning on Lolo because she has like soft tissue damage and we're trying to rehab her, and the water is 34 degrees. So having her in here for 20 minutes is such a treat while we're busy trying to get the bubble out of Puma's belly. This is a big deal. And while I wish I had one in my backyard, it is really cool that in North Texas you can throw a rock in any direction and hit a cold spa and some sort of aqua tread. So between the horse gym that we've been doing at KB Ranch and then the cold spa here, we are so grateful that we're able to do this. Plus, I'm gonna leave her at home and Jessie is going to get her out, put her on the walker, and then do Babyflo and red light while we're gone. So she'll continue to receive this treatment while we're gone on the rodeo road this week. I'm very excited about that. Just like you cold plunge for humans to try to get out inflammation and try to bring circulation to certain areas, that's what the cold spa is going to do. So this water is 34 degrees. For horses, it's not that cold because their nerve endings from the knees down are much different than ours because they're designed to stand in the snow barefoot, and we are not. So she is in this water, but it's not uncomfortable for her. She's having a great time. She's just standing there, but her tendons will stay cold much longer after. So it's gonna like suck out any of that inflammation and bring a lot of circulation. All of her body's gonna turn on the hey, we're standing in something really cold signals, which is gonna rush blood down to where we want. So we'll increase all of that circulation, try to get out some of that inflammation, and all in all, we'll tighten the legs up, and that effect lasts for quite a while. So she's gonna experience a couple of days where she's a lot tighter, which is great because she's gonna get a lot of exercise today. Successful/unsuccessful day, it's just how it goes. We are gonna culture Puma tomorrow and see what we got going on. We may have to clean her up a little bit with some antibiotics, not a big deal. And in the meantime, she had a shot, so we are headed to the rodeo road, which means when we finish up on Sunday, we've got to get our booties home because she's most likely a breeder on Monday. So the whole thing starts over, which seems like a lot of work, but you know, again, I can't buy one of these babies, so it's definitely worth it. Lolo looked really good coming out of the salt spa. So I think we're gonna add more game ready sessions at home to that. Obviously this is pricey, so we wanna make sure that we continue whatever we can at home. But with us going out of town, we're gonna move her over to Mini Ranch so that she will be able to be on the walker every day and on the Babyflo and under red light, so all of her therapies will keep going. And then Puma will be on the road with us. I'll just keep in contact with Dr. Pat and keep telling him like she looks like she's coming into heat or not, and that way we can have it dialed in if we need to take Feel the Flow to go get collected, to then, you know, do all the stuff and things. It's a lot, but horse girls are also sophisticated breeders, so you say horse girl like it's a bad thing, but we out here flossing. This is some high-end stuff we're doing out here, so I'm very excited to see what we make happen next week. You guys, in the meantime, we have to rush over to Mini Ranch because we have a new addition.